The following is a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.
Welcome back to another edition of the UAB Director's Chair. He is the UAB Athletic Director for your UAB Blazers down there in Southside. It is Mark Ingram. Marcus, what's up, my friend? How are you?
I'm excellent. Tony, how you doing today?
Good. Getting ready for, I guess, graduations coming up here the next couple of weeks for a lot of schools. Getting ready for some summertime. What does Mark Ingram do over the summertime with the families? I know you got a lot of sports going on, but I know you get some time off too, spend some time with the family a little bit. But what does Mark do during the summertime? Or what do athletic directors do during the summertime?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of convention type things. Every conference has a spring meeting with the ADs, football coaches, the basketball coaches. We all go somewhere. So I'll go to American spring meetings. Then we have kind of a national convention in June. This year it's in Las Vegas. It's usually in Orlando or Dallas, but this year it's Vegas.
Nice.
And then try to take a little bit of vacation while, you got camps going on and coaches are constantly recruiting. May is a big month for recruiting for football, especially. So coaches will be very busy in May. And so I don't want to say we don't get time off, but we just don't have events here, you know. It is a tough time for us sometimes to raise money because others are taking vacation. And so it's hard to nail people down in the summertime. But this year's a big year for us because we're selling tickets in the arena, in kind of the remodeled arena. The entire lower bowl of Bartow Arena is going to change, and a good portion of the upper bowl as well. And so
when will that be complete?
Be finished mid-October, so it'll be finished by next season.
Okay.
So we've got to bring people in and let them pick out their seats. So that'll be something that's a big project this summer that'll keep us very busy and just promoting that. And I've had people ask me why are we doing it? Well, it's because it's going to generate more money, and it's going to put us in a position, I think, to host more events, more concerts, and we haven't really done that, which will also generate more money. So this is all, through the need to always have more funds.
Yeah.
And we think the renovation is going to help us do that.
Center court, maybe 2 or 3 rows behind you would be fine for me. Just
Perfect.
hold me a pair. I only need 2. I'll pay for my other 2 for the kids, but we'll take.
And they've really already started the work, which is fun.
Yeah.
They've started kind of putting in, if you know what conduit is, think of the metal pipe that wires run through. They're starting to put some of that throughout the concourse now. We've still got our UAB graduation, so they can't do anything that's too destructive. They're not knocking walls down yet. But starting to do some things like that just to get ahead of the project. And they're even going to do some painting next week, which is fun. So they'll try to get some of that done before they even.
When was the last time you renovated Bartow?
It's never been renovated.
Ever? I mean, nothing's, outside putting paint.
We've renovated locker rooms.
Yeah.
We've renovated the Champions Club and the Green and Gold room. Those hospitality spaces.
That's the first time, man. That's amazing. I mean, that really is.
I'll tell you what, we're going to redo the floor, the concourse I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And so the contractor said, hey, we need you to pick out the color that you want it to be. And they had an idea, and I had an idea. We talked about it. But they did 4 color samples. And the first one was they just sanded this micro layer, just sanded the top of the concrete, and then put a clear coat on it and polished it.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony, I know that the concourse needs this. I cannot describe to you how filthy the floor looked, the old floor sitting next to this polished, which is what it was when they opened the door.
Yeah.
So that's basically what they're saying is like, this is what it was when they opened the door. That's what it's become right next to it. And you're looking at it, you cannot believe.
Wow.
There's no way for me to describe to you the difference.
That's great.
Dark brown, dark gray, even black in some spots.
It needed some work.
Over time, it's just happened.
Like
I said, it's getting close to 40 years of popcorn grease and soda stains and foot traffic. And man, it is it is going to be a remarkable change.
Super excited for that. And
Yeah.
again, coming in October. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. Info at TonyCurryRadio.net. You have any questions for Mark or for myself or anything about UAB, UABblazers.com. Check out UABsports.com, their website. Saw an interesting story. I always like to do a little prep before the show, and usually I'll just Google college sports, and then I'll just hit news and see what pops up. And I knew about this story a couple days ago, but it appears it's going to be happening now. TPG, which is a private equity firm, is
Yeah.
buying Learfield, which
Right.
is a huge sports identity. Anyone knows the broadcasting field knows just how big Learfield is when it comes to college sports. Um, and this is going to be the first time, not the first time, but for some reason, people hear the words private equity, and it makes you kind of because we know what private equity firms are. We know what they do. We know they buy things and they flip things and they sell things and everything else. And it's not to say that, and it's just another way. Some people would say a great way to get other people invested in sports itself. When I say private equity firm and mix it with NCAA or college sports, how does that make you feel at this point? Because for the most part, private equity
Yeah.
really hasn't played a big part in what's been going on right now.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about a couple of different things. I mean, Learfield, who's a partner of ours, they got bought by somebody that owns a bunch of companies and in the sports world. And so that's good for Learfield financially. It doesn't change anything about us. It doesn't change anything about our management structure with them or with the folks who work here for Learfield. It's business as usual for us. Really, it's just a structural thing at the top. Um, and they're keeping all their Learfield leadership. So, to my knowledge, I don't think TPG is trying to come in and change what they do either. On the subject of private equity, what I think you've read a lot about is different schools talking about taking money from private equity firms. And I think any idea is worth looking at. But the reality is, if you're going to take money from private equity, they expect a return, and so they're going to take, call it, they're going to take 10 or 20% is what they're going to want of your earnings. Well, I could borrow money for like 2.5, 3%. The university's bond rating is terrific. I could borrow money. The university could. We could take out a loan from Regions Bank or somebody, and it'd be much more affordable than taking money from private equity. So I don't know a lot of people that think it's a great idea, but I think a lot of people have looked at it because they look, we all want to try to be entrepreneurial. When you need to be, you want to say, okay, let's not take the old way. Let's not only do
Well, you got to
things the
figure.
way
I mean,
we've
you got to
always
figure
done
out.
it.
Let's
But
let's let's face it. You've got to come up with money. I mean,
but but
that's
that math just doesn't make sense.
yeah.
Why would I give you 10 or 20% instead of three?
Well, as opposed to, again, you're probably talking about a lot more money when you're going through a private equity firm, and again, when you're talking about just a straight loan, there's obviously things that
No,
depend.
no, man. We're talking
Yeah.
about between, for us to go get 30 or 50 million or 100 million, we could borrow that money. We could do that. And it would be a much better rate than what it would be through private equity. So
So
that's the
okay.
part
So
that I
explain to me what's the advantage then? So why would you
I
go
don't
with
think there
private
is
equity?
one. I don't think there is one.
Well,
But
just for sake, you wouldn't have to pay it back if you lost your butt. I guess.
oh, you got to pay it back.
Yeah.
You got to pay it back.
I mean,
They're getting their money. They're
what
in
I'm saying
business.
is, explain this. Back up just a little bit. So maybe I'm wrong here. I didn't take enough business classes. I've got a private equity firm that's giving me money in order to operate, come up with NILs, collective, blah 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 blah, pay my players, and they're getting a return on their investment. I get that, but like all investments, if the business doesn't work, the investment is gone. They lose their money.
I guess. Yeah, I
So,
don't
so
know how
you,
that.
but you've got a loan. If you got a loan, you're paying that loan back unless you go
Yeah,
bankrupt. So, I mean, in that particular case, that's you always want to get an investment instead of a loan.
yeah,
Like for small business, you get an
yeah,
investor and you're like, hey, well, how am I going to get return my money? Well, there's three things going to happen. I'm either going to sell the company, get your money back, or I'm going to make money and you're going to get a return, or I'm going to lose my ass and you're going to make your money
yeah.
and you're going to lose your money. And so,
And one of the questions I have, Tony, is we're constantly told, hey, if we took money from private equity, they wouldn't be in our business about, I don't know, our marketing plans or who our coach is, or, but I just have a hard time believing that. I have a hard time believing that wealthy investors aren't going to say, um,
They're going to want
hey,
to
I think
plan it.
you
It's
need
just
to
like
carve
boosters,
more
right?
money out of your budget for,
Yeah, it's like boosters or anything else. If they're making an investment in your
yeah,
company, they're going to want to have a say in it. Typically, if they're
yeah. I
deep, if they
mean,
have deep
look,
pockets.
we get a lot of advice from fans and donors and people around the program who aren't giving us $100 million.
Yeah,
What do you think it would be like if they did?
yeah. Um, and I mean, you're making deals with devils. I mean, that's what you're doing.
Yeah.
How is if you don't mind me asking, how is your money situation at UAB right now with everything unfolding
Well,
and
we're fiscally responsible. We're sound. I mean,
that's
we're
good.
our budget has increased quite a bit since I got here.
But
And
as compared to other AAC schools, where do you rank as far as in collectives, monies for players, paying out, this, that, and the other?
yeah,
The stuff that,
I would say we are average amongst our peers when it comes to our revenue sharing spend. We're not at the top, we're not at the bottom. We're near the middle of everybody. And I think I said this on the show before. Everywhere I've ever worked, Tennessee, Missouri, Georgia, Temple, and here, we always need more money.
yeah.
But there's never enough money, right? There's a gap between having more and having enough. And even if next year we have more, for some reason that gap from between more and enough never seems to change. And
Mm.
so
We
we'll
call that life.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll always need
Mm.
more. And as it relates to sort of operating budgets, we try to keep an eye more closely in the American with the people who were in Conference USA with us because the people that were already in the American, take East Carolina, for example, we refer to them and South Florida and Memphis as incumbent members.
Mhm. Yeah.
The incumbent members, they get a larger share from the conference revenues than we do. So some of what they are able to do, some of their budget is provided by the league. And so it's harder to look at a true fair apples to apples comparison. I mean, we look at their numbers, but we just have to keep in mind from a total budget standpoint, that's something that they are getting that we're not getting. So we look at the other five CUSA people and say, okay, where are they? Where are we? Are we still kind of tracking along with them? And we are.
Yeah. Um, Since it's still kind of fresh, I guess I wanted to talk a little bit about women's basketball just for a second.
Okay.
And should be like, why you want to talk about women's basketball? We just had a national championship, of course, for the men. There was a game, was a 116 matchup. I think the differential was 68, 69 points, which
Yeah.
was one of the biggest differentials in college women's basketball history. I think the biggest game I think is like
Yeah.
89 points, something like that. And that was recently, like the last
Yeah.
6 or 7 years. We're not talking like 1878 or something like that. People
Yeah.
always
And
want to go back and
UConn blew out Syracuse and it was a huge gap. And I can't
yeah.
remember what it was. It was big.
Gino Ariama, like her or not, has got 12 national titles.
Yeah.
He mentioned prior to last season that he believes that there's parity is leaving the sport of women's basketball. And I'm thinking, whenever was there parity in
Yeah.
women's basketball? Because it's been UConn, South Carolina, and that's it. Now all of a sudden we got UCLA in the mix, and good for them. That's wonderful. As an athletic director, does it bother you a little bit that we're trying to listen? Women's basketball is great. I love it. I've watched it. I enjoy it. A lot of people love the basics. There's not slam dunks all the time.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it for that exact reason, but some people do. If you really want to learn the basics, I think it's a great starting point to watch. It's certainly not the NBA. You can watch the WNBA if you want to. Um, but there's something wrong with a 1 seed beating a 16 seed in your tournament by 70 points. There's just something
Yeah.
wrong with that. You would
Right.
never see that in the men's tournament. You never see
Right.
that in the men's tournament, period.
Hmm.
Um, and so I don't know if that's something that needs to be fixed. Is UConn always going to be so much more better? Is that to say how good Gino is and how he recruits? Obviously, I think you can make an argument to say that he's the greatest college coach ever. Period. I mean, I thought Pat Summitt was certainly in that mix, but the guy's won 12 national titles. He's won more than John Wooden, for God's sakes. I mean,
Yeah.
there's something. I know it's women's basketball, but you can certainly make an argument. He's doing something incredibly special with his basketball squad. And I, some people are like, yeah, parity, everyone gets a trophy. No, I'm not talking about that. I mean, my Cincinnati Reds are in first place right now, and I'm loving that. It's great. I love small teams. Hopefully they'll
Yeah.
hold it together and get it to the end of the season because it's good for every fan base to have a winner once in a while. But does that bother you at all, or do you ever think, as an athletic director, do you ever look at the sport and go, how can we make it more competitive or add more parity to it so it's not so top heavy?
Yeah, I mean, the ability for women's basketball to improve at the top, meaning at this level, is that youth basketball for young girls has got to be better, and I think it has gotten better, and I think it has improved. You mentioned Pat Summit. She was well ahead of Gino when she became ill and died so young, and she's the best coach that I've ever worked with,
He's awesome.
period.
Great,
And
great woman. Just period. Just a
yeah,
wonderful human
great,
being.
great
Yeah.
lady. But one of the things she pointed out to me, and she had an assistant on her staff, a man named Al Brown, who was a good friend of mine. And Al had been on the men's side of college basketball prior to joining her staff. And he pointed out, which we were together, and she was agreeing that in men's basketball, if you look at the best team in the country, if it was like a bar graph, and you had this line, the best team in the country to the worst team in the country, there would just be this line that's just diagonal line from sort of quality good to bad.
Yeah.
Not bad, but you know what I mean, best to
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
In women's basketball, it's not that way. It's like four or five, and then there's a drop,
Mhm.
and four or five and a drop. And so even from 1 to 20, instead of it being like a diagonal like this, it's like this.
Yeah.
It's like this start because it doom, 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 like
And, and by,
that.
and by the way, these disparities, there was a game this season. I think I want to say it was UCLA. They were favored by 72 or 69 or something like that, and they covered the spread. So we're
Yeah.
not, I know sometimes in
Nuts.
men's basketball there's going to be a 40-point blowout. Sometimes it just happens. The team's just
Yeah.
off. But these are games where we're looking at going, oh, this team is favored by 60. The UConn was favored by 60 over this team in the same tournament. That does not seem right to me. But continue.
Yeah. That's the deal. I mean, it's just that there's a huge talent difference between the very best and even like I said, the
Is it
20th
pure
best.
talent? Is it coaching? Is it
Yeah, no, it's
both?
talent. It's just pure talent. I mean,
Okay.
the ball handling, the shooting, the size. You say, well, there's not a lot of tall men out there. Well, there's not. There's even fewer tall women, and of those tall women, they're not necessarily interested in sports. You know,
Yeah.
and same thing with men, but there are more tall men than there are tall women, and then, society judges men on how tall they are, how big they are, how strong they are, and are they athletic? And it's something that we are judged on as men. And so it's an emphasis for young boys to play sports, different than for young girls. But the game has improved a lot. I think watching women's basketball is great at a high level, um, because they're not as tall.
Yeah.
There's more space on the court. It's the same size court, right? So the spacing is different, and that's when you can get a lot of these backdoor cuts and give and goes and all that. I think it's fun to watch. I like it a lot.
Yeah. No, it's great. I mean, Santo and I went down and watched some women's basketball. I forget what it was last year, maybe the tournament was here.
Yeah,
It was, anytime it's tournament basketball, man, and when it's the best, I want to watch it. I don't care what it is.
yeah,
It was very entertaining to watch. And I love the ooh, and I love those, blocks and stuff like that. But it was really fun to see just really good basketball
yeah.
and how they shoot and stuff. So it was very, very entertaining. All right, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame just unveiled its 2026 class.
Okay.
Have you heard about this? Did you know about
I've
this yet?
not.
All right,
Mm-mm.
so this is the class. They voted on it, and these are the ones in. Wu-Tang Clan made it in. Billy Idol is now in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You all about that?
I love it.
Okay. Oasis is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm not as high on that one.
Phil Collins is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He should have been in the Hall of Fame a long
I
time
can't believe he
ago.
wasn't
He's
already.
he's
Yeah,
he's unbelievable. Luther Vandross is in the Hall of Fame.
love Luther.
Yeah, and can we please stop with the Rock? There's an article that comes out every year. Why do they call it the Rock Hall of Fame? Luther
Yeah.
Vandross, not rock.
It's
We
like a
get that.
music. Yeah.
It's a music thing. You couldn't call it the Music Hall of Fame. Rock
Right.
Hall of Fame is Hollywood. It's rock and roll. It's in your
Right.
face. It's fun. That's why they call it the Rock Hall of Fame. Doesn't mean that Dolly Parton can't be in. So stop with
Right.
this crap about, well, it's not really rock and roll. You can't have a Hall of Fame for every musical genre.
Yeah.
Sade made it in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I'm shocked by that one.
Yeah. Joy Division, the New Order made it into the Rock and Roll
Never
of Fame.
heard of them.
And really, you never heard of New Order at Joy Division? They've been out for about. I think I'm happy about this because in Europe they're huge. Iron Maiden is now in the Rock and Roll
I
Hall of
love
Fame.
them. I can't believe they're not.
Yeah. Run for the Hills, one of my favorite songs. I love that
Love them. It's a
song.
great song.
Couldn't name a lot of their other songs, but Iron Maiden in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I think it's just good for that building to have Iron Maiden in it. You need to go up there. I need to take you up there and show you around. I've been there a million times, and you would absolutely. It's you all over the place. You would love it.
Yeah.
You'd be in that place for a week straight.
Detroit or Cleveland?
Cleveland.
Cleveland.
It's right on the river. It's right on. It's right off Lake Erie. There is a restaurant called the Whistleblower that is within walking distance. It's an old steamship that's got some pretty good seafood if you're into that kind of thing. It's kind of hard because it kind of stinks. It's Lake Erie. It's just smelly. I mean, Lake Erie. Remember that's the lake that caught on fire, right? That's how nasty that lake is.
Oh, gross.
But you're real close to the downtown area, and it's a pretty part. And if you go in the wintertime where you have some lakefront snow and stuff, it's really pretty. And the building itself kind of sits by itself in this big, large area. So I mean, it just stands there by itself. You can't miss it. It's beautiful. So that's a bucket list for you. You should go this summer. You should do it. All right, my man. I appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much. We'll catch up next week. We'll catch up all summer. We'll maybe get into some more rock and roll things. If you got anything interesting you want to get into, we've done some guitar lists, things like that. Since things are just a little slow, you let me know.
Yeah.
We'll get into it. Okay.
All right. Sounds good.
Thank you, my brother. I'll talk to you a little bit.
All right, Tony.
This has been a special presentation of Tony Curry Radio.